Today we're talking about the brand new Zhiyun B500. Now, in case you missed it, Zhiyun just announced a new series of cob lights, which is the B100, B200, B300, and the one we're looking at today, the B500. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that Zhiyun did reach out for me to test this and review this, but they're not asking I say anything specifically, and so you are going to get my full and honest opinion. These lights are positioned to be lightweight and user-friendly, and so I'm super excited to bring them to you all. So with that, let's talk about some pros and cons that I have for the Zhiyun B500. Now, the first pro that I have is overall output and flexibility. I actually use this light on set for the podcast that I produce, and one thing that I face whenever I shoot this podcast is I do like filming in front of this big bay window because it gives a little bit more depth to the shot, but with lower output lights, I'm often struggling to light my subject in comparison to the lighting outside, the natural lighting outside. And on top of that, with a lower power light, I often have to get it closer to my subject, which does risk reflection in my shot. And so having a higher power light like this allows for me to back the light off a little bit and not have to fight my reflections when I am shooting this podcast. Now, talking about flexibility, this light is going to be bicolor and dimmable. I do appreciate the fact that Zhiyun is offering different watt options for this light. Like I said before, you do have a 100, 200, 300, and the 500. And so you can choose which one may be best for you. 500 may be too much for some people, and then 100 may not be enough. And so you do have a little bit of variety there to choose from when you are looking at this light lineup. Moving on, the next pro that I have is the abundance of fans on this light. Zhiyun is utilizing a new cooling system, which they are calling the Dynavort Cooling System Mark V. And while that sounds really cool, for me, it just means that you're gonna have quiet fans and you're also gonna keep the light relatively cool. I had this thing running all day on set for the podcast and the fans never really got loud and the light stayed relatively cool. And so that's really nice to see, is the abundance of fans on this, as well. It just looks kind of cool, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. Now, the next pro for me is it does allow for app control. Now, I was not able to actually get the light to connect to the application, and I think it's because it's more of a pre-production model, but that is something that I do like to see out of lights, is the ability to utilize app control. And so again, while I was not able to connect personally, the fact that it's an option is really nice. And that brings me to my next pro, which is the overall build and design. This thing is just really cool looking. It has fans all over. It seems really sturdy. I think it's made of a high-grade plastic, and that may be a negative for some people, but I do appreciate it for the fact that it does keep things relatively cool and it keeps it lighter. Now, as far as build features, you have a full-size Bowens mount. You also have two knobs, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left does control the output, and the one on the right does control the color temperature. Now, if you long press the knob on the left, you will access a menu, and if you long press the knob on the right, you will access some of the effects, which could be its own pro. I don't use effects a ton with these types of lights, but knowing that it is available is a really nice feature, and honestly kind of table stakes for products like this. And this is something that I've come to appreciate from Zhiyun lately, is just their overall approach to designing really good looking functional lights. And that's something that I think that is setting them apart in the lighting kind of market, is their overall approach to design and building these lights. And that leads me to my last pro, which is overall simplicity. This thing is super simple to use. Oftentimes when you get a light, you have to figure out how to adjust different menus, turn off your fans. There's a whole lot of things. There's a big learning curve with a lot of these lights. And this is really designed to be very user-friendly. I was able to really understand my way around this light very easily, and that is really nice for people that are just wanting a light that just works and isn't super complicated when it comes to just using the light. And so I can absolutely appreciate the overall simplicity of this light. The one con that I really had, and honestly there wasn't a ton, but the one con that I had, and at least for the model that I received, is there's no carrying case. I actually had to put the light back in its box and take it on set with me, and that just doesn't look super professional. And so I really wish that a carrying case was included, and there may be a kind of deluxe package that includes a carrying case, but I really do feel like that could have been one of those just selling points, is including a carrying carrying case with the light. But overall, I've been really happy with the B500. And so if you are looking for just a really high quality light that's easy to use, I would definitely check out the Zhiyun B100, 200, 300, or 500. And so that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like. And if you're digging the overall content from the channel, consider subscribing. As always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Peace.